Hello everyone, I am Alexis. Welcome to my channel where I dig into viral content and viral conversations. Today I wanted to talk about a video from Love and Hip Hop Miami that went viral on social media. When I first saw the clip, it only had like a few thousand views on TikTok, but even then I knew it was about to go viral. It just hadn't went viral yet. So the video you all are about to see is like an exchange in between Amara Negla, I think that's her full name, like her full artist name, and a lady named Flo, like Florence, I think that's her like full first name. So actually the fight wasn't just solely about colorism. Like the fight was about a man. I don't really watch the show, but the fight was about a man, and colorism got injected in there. So go ahead and take a look, take a listen, and let's discuss when we get back.
Stop telling black women to stop loving themselves. You stop loving yourself. Selling bleaching cream. Slap the out of you. You ugly as no wonder why your baby daddy call you a black ass bitch. You said what? You.
This is a lie, you guys. This is a lie.
How do you come to an event with a whole bunch of black, beautiful women to promote women positivity, but you're out here on social media telling bitches to bleach their skin and look yellow and funky like you do, bitch? You don't know anything about skincare? No, I know about being melanated and black and beautiful, bitch. You mad because I'm light-skinned. This bitch is mad. Why would I be mad because you're light-skinned? Bitches wish that they look like me. That's how black bitches hate on light-skinned girls? Woo! Say that one more time.
These are Flo's true colors. You see, she does think that we are beneath her.
This is going too far. Now it's becoming very racial, and I don't like it.
I'm black and I'm proud, 1,000%. But I feel like right now, Flo is just trying to get under Amada's skin to hurt Amada's feelings.
You have a problem. You don't love yourself. I don't love myself. Mommy, I am black and beautiful.
You're a hater.
You're a hater.
I'm
you
begging him
hater.
Wakanda forever. What's your point?
You all saw the video. Colorism like that has been around for so long. We shouldn't be making things like this go viral, but here we are. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta had a similar situation when Erica Mena called Spice, her dark-skinned castmate, a blue monkey.
Your son hates you! Your son hates you, bitch! You monkey! You blue monkey! You monkey! In the car.
She later got terminated, but termination doesn't fix colorism. It just appeases the viewers, who are mainly dark-skinned black women. When you really think about it, if the Love and Hip Hop franchise really cared about its key audience, black women, they would never air this kind of scenes to begin with and then post it on social media for clicks and views and promotion. This is all a marketing tactic at the expense of black women, our image, and our energy. A lot of platforms catering to black women, and I say catering with air quotes. A lot of platforms that cater to black women, or that are supposed to cater to black women, somehow always make a name for themselves by humiliating black women and constantly reminding us of our subpar image in society. Like, they always show us in a negative light, kind of like to make us like feel less than, or just to remind us that we are not better than less than, if you see what I mean. A lot of these shows do not teach anything new. It doesn't show us anything new. It doesn't even give us the same content in different ways. It keeps serving us the same garbage with just a few months in between every garbage meals. We always get the exact same thing. Like, they don't even hide it anymore. I also have to call us out, black women. Some of us stay tuning in. I do not watch Love and Hip Hop, but I used to when I was young, during my late teens and my early 20s. Today, I am disgusted by any content that portrays black women in such a negative light. I think a lot of us black women are way too comfortable with portrayals in the media that are detrimental to our overall image. What I'm saying has nothing to do with looking good for others, but being good to ourselves and doing things that benefit us as black women as a whole, from our public image to our spirit. We literally consume this kind of media, and that affects our spirit and how we see ourselves. With that being said, let me get into what I think and what I got from the video. First and foremost, colorism conversations are always centered around the wrong things. The same way racism has an impact on important things such as the justice system, medical treatments, and even job opportunities, colorism have the same impact. If many black people can agree that racism holds us back as a community, then I do not understand how it is lost on all of us how bad colorism hold us back as well. Not expecting the people who benefit from colorism to do something about it, but darker skinned people are somewhat complacent in many ways. Complacency is not just taking action in favor of colorism. Sometimes it is simply staying quiet. A lot of black women in the video didn't say anything or do anything in favor of Amara. She was pretty much alone. Shay, the person that was hosting, the lady with the pink suit, I believe that's what she had on, she was trying to calm the situation down. That is another form of complacency, if you ask me, because why stop Amara from talking about something so serious? Shay was given, stop talking about the issue and it would disappear tease. Like, that's what I got from her reaction. But back to my point. Colorism is more than just beauty, sex appeal, and male attention. Colorism affects job opportunities. Colorism affects the medical system and how it treats us. Colorism affects our livelihood in so many aspects. I live in a city with plenty of homelessness. I have noticed that most of the black homeless population are dark skinned black men mainly and some dark skinned black women. But, when a homeless person is black, they're always dark skinned. Does colorism affect access to housing? I wouldn't know to what extent, but I am sure that colorism can have an effect on our income and how we generate income. Like opportunities that we get are impacted by colorism, or colorism can affect how we have access to the money. And the income have an impact on different things like housing, nutrition, health, education, safety, etc. So colorism affects so many important aspects of our lives that I believe dating, beauty, sexual value should really be the least of our colorism concerns. The preference of a man, what other people think of you, the way people look at you, the beauty hierarchy to me shouldn't be at the forefront of our colorism conversations. Like, not just because it's not that relevant, but addressing these topics, especially focusing on it as much as we do not really evoke significant change in my opinion. For example, when Flo said your baby daddy called you ugly, I think she kind of reminded Amara of a time when her baby father, who is lighter skinned, called Amara black and ugly.
And you think it's funny, bitch? Shut the up, maldita barrial. Por loca que no estoy contigo. Y a mí qué me importa estar contigo. Y a mí qué me importa estar contigo. You already did it, right? I don't give a you. That's why you're alone all the time. You are nothing. Mom, let me go. Let me go. Empty. Amara, the crazy one. That's why I'm not gonna be with you. What is this? Nobody wants you, black ass.
Her bringing that up to me was, stupid to say because she was weaponizing a man that was already youngish against Amara at that moment while she was also being colorist. To me, like, the man wasn't ish either way. I just don't think she had to bring it up trying to be colorist as well. Now, their back and forth went from Amara calling her out for selling skin bleaching to now talking about a man that isn't even worth a damn. You know what I mean? So to me, talking about skin bleaching was a more reasonable conversations to have regarding colorism because skin bleaching affect our health. Yeah, it is like, a health issue, a health crisis in my opinion. And I even believe skin bleaching products are illegal in so many countries, including maybe some parts of the states. I need to go look it up. I wanted to hear more about Flo and her skin bleaching business. But the way we talk about colorism makes the topic seem way less important than what it really is. We need to have this conversation in a real mature way with real knowledge and important points on the matter. We really need to have this conversation with honesty. What is starting to get sad is that a lot of people have seen videos like this so many times that people are getting desensitized to the conversation and the issue at large is becoming, just nothing burger to a lot of people. Now, I have to be fair and admit that there have been some progress compared to years ago when it comes to talking about colorism. Like, we hear a little more about it now compared to years ago when it wasn't even talked about at all. But really, I think we need to stop being proud of just little progress. We have, we have gotten way past talking about it and educating others that don't get it. There has to be solution to the issue. There has to be an action plan to fix the issue of colorism by now. The truth is, we will probably never have a solution to colorism, just senseless moments of virality like this one, unfortunately. And next, I am upset that only low tier content brings up the topic of colorism. Or maybe I should say that only low tier content goes viral for discussing colorism. Racism is comparable to colorism, and racism is usually discussed on bigger platforms, more important platforms, if you ask me. We talk about racism on the news. We talk about racism on many YouTube platforms, like many YouTube channels, on different podcasts, from black men to black women to black girls to black boys to non-black people to everybody in between. Like everybody talks about racism. Everybody has some type of knowledge. Some people dismiss it, but still, it's like you would see anybody bring up racism, and it's not just in reality shows. Like it's actually a serious topic. But when it comes to colorism, it barely ever gets discussed. When it gets brought up, it's usually by the wrong people on the wrong platforms. In addition to the fact that colorism is not being discussed in the right way with the best talking points, it is being discussed by folks who don't really get it and broadcasted to even more folks who don't get it. I don't think the target audience of Love and Hip Hop has the intellectual capacity to understand colorism in a deeper sense. Just like the people in the video did not discuss colorism in a deeper sense. I really think discussing serious topics on the wrong platforms and in the wrong ways can really dumb us down as people. This is frustrating because colorism affects mainly dark skinned black women and dark skinned black girls. It affects us the most. Yes, it does. But these are the two groups that watch a show like Love and Hip Hop the most. Black women and black girls need to understand colorism. And the truth is, this reality show do not do a good job discussing the topic. Next, I think it's crazy how the color black is beautiful on most things except for when it comes to skin color. Before I get into this, let me say I am not trying to compare people's skin, skin with objects or any surfaces or anything like that. I am just speaking from a visual standpoint, the way people see color when it is attached to certain things. That's what I'm trying to get into. Okay. There is literally a term known as the little black dress, which means regardless of the occasion, you could never go wrong with the little black dress. There are so many instances that the color black or dark brown is preferred, but somehow darker skin is always hated. And every racial group has a profound hatred for the darker skinned people within that racial group, right? So colorism is not just a black American thing or a black African thing. Colorism is actually very heavy in Asia and in South America. There is also tanning and blackfishing, which I don't necessarily think people who do those things are trying to be black or dark brown, but they're at the very least trying to look mixed or darker than what they naturally look. So that really shows how everyone loves darker skin tones until it's on an actual black person. I just thought it was very interesting. Next, unpopular opinion. Very unpopular opinion, but bear with me. I believe colorism came before racism. A lot of black people like to blame colorism on racism, but I think we do that as a way of avoiding accountability. A lot of black people always link colorism to slavery. The fact that lighter skinned slaves were treated less harsh than darker skinned slaves, light skinned mixed and biracial slaves were sometimes had the permission to work in the master's house, while the darker skinned slaves always had to work outside in the worst conditions. A lot of black people, especially in the US, believe that that is what actually shaped black people's preference for lighter skin and the fact that we see whiteness as a standard. I have a very different opinion on that. I think we overvalued whiteness before the transatlantic slave trade even started. That is what I think. That is why I believe West African nations were so open and trusting of colonizers. Even until this day, black people, especially from countries with little to zero white people or biracials, are very welcoming and trusting of the white community. Very. Even over other black and brown people. A lot of us open our eyes to things like racism and just the evils of the Western world after we moved to Western countries with very high population of white or white adjacent people. But we shouldn't have to experience racism and discrimination to understand the need to vet others before embracing them. It should be the norm for others to prove themselves to us before we can trust them. Black and brown communities can be very mean and skeptical towards one another, but are very open and trusting towards white and Caucasian communities. That's just the truth if we're going to be honest here. The black community also do not have much devotion towards bettering our community. We do not value our own identities, and darker skinned people, we do not value them. I do not necessarily think that this is learned behavior or indoctrination. Because if our self hatred was something we did to imitate others, the pain that it brings upon us, we're gonna create a shift in our way of thinking. The pain that comes with treating each other badly due to colorism should be enough for us to stop hurting each other. But that change could only happen if we had love for self to begin with. It almost sounds like some of us, as black people, are saying that we are mimicking racism because we saw racism working in favor of white people. But we are only practicing racism on our own people and not the same white people that has been hurting us all along. If we really had any form of self love or self pride, we would quickly stop engaging in behaviors that play at our detriment again and again and again and again and again. Because let me just remind y'all, colorism didn't start yesterday. We have been making the exact same mistakes when it comes to disregarding our own, mistreating our own, talking down on our own forever now. Blaming colorism or racism is the easy way out to me. That's how I feel about it. I think blaming colorism or racism is just a lazy excuse. Blaming colorism or racism is the easy way out of facing the fact that we have more to do with our own failures than we would like to admit. I think blaming colorism or racism is like claiming that colorism is an incurable disease we cannot fight off, but in reality, some of us don't care to heal from. There is too much evidence of how colorism destroys our communities and ourselves, but a lot of us have an illusion that we want something if we end up in close proximity to whiteness. We know that the racial hierarchy is detrimental because a lot of people within the white society do it to us as black people as a whole. But we turn around and play by the exact same rules amongst each other. I strongly believe the reason we cannot get it under control is because this has been our belief since the beginning of times. Am I saying we cannot change as a community? Nope, that's not what I'm saying. However, I strongly believe a lot of us do not want to change or we do not care to change. Next, dark skinned people contribute to colorism all the time. In this point, I really wanted to bring up two different ways in which dark skinned women consciously or subconsciously participate in colorism. We all know when it comes to dating, dark skinned men mainly go for the whitest women they can pull, not because of any other reason, but that those women are light or pale skin. That is colorism, but we already know that. I think the black community is very lenient on colorist black men to the extent of even excusing their colorism by calling it a preference. Other black men treat the preferences, with air quotes, preferences like it's a normal thing. But this is where dark skinned black women are also complacent. Dark skinned black women contribute to this by tolerating the type of men and even begging to be loved by the type of men that prefer women of other groups solely because they are not black. I remember seeing this clip where the rapper Kodak Black, he had some interview with this dark skinned female journalist.
Everybody's buzzing about it on Twitter, so I gotta ask whatever. It's like you like black. You said you like black girls, but you said it's just like
I answered this question. I answered this question earlier.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have a need to simplify it again, but I'm gonna simplify it again. I carry myself like I'm an average dude because I don't see myself no better than him, no better than him, or no less than him. So if he could say that he likes skinny women, if he prefers skinny women more than a more chubby or heavyset women, he could say that and nobody won't get mad at him. I just said I don't like women with my complexion. I like light-skinned women. I want you to be lighter than me. I love African-American women, but I just don't like my skin complexion.
Okay. Well, I like your skin complexion.
We too gutter. Black people, my complexion, we too gutter. Light-skinned women, they most sensitive,
There's some dark-skinned women out here sensitive.
No, they too tough. They too tough. Light-skinned women, we could break them down more easy, you know what I'm saying?
He was addressing the colorist statement that he had made. And what really shocked me, to be fair, it was years ago, but it really shocked me how the black female journalist proceeded to tell him that she's still into dark skinned men. She was pretty much telling him that she's still attracted to dark skinned black men like him, and even the look on her face. Colorist apologists are contributing to colorism just as much as colorists themselves because they help normalize it. That's as simple as I can put it. I also wanted to talk about dark skinned black women's preferences. Some dark skinned black women's preferences are also colorist in a way that doesn't get addressed. A lot of dark skinned black women have poured real tears over the fact that dark skinned men don't want them. But what's crazy is they cry while at the same time overlook light skinned men for the exact same reason that they, as dark skinned women, are overlooked. I do not have an issue with who people choose to date, but so far, the colorism conversation centers dating a lot. So I'm going to use dating to bring my point home. Just like some people have preconceived notions of dark skinned women that play at our disadvantage, sometimes dark skinned women also have preconceived notions about light skinned men that just adds to the colorism. I don't know if some dark skinned black women understand that if they prefer dark skinned men because they often associate dark skin with masculinity, they cannot complain that dark skinned men also look at them as masculine just because of your darker skin. I mean, dark skinned women, low key, high key, agree that dark skin is masculine sometimes, in some cases. And if, as a dark skinned woman, you are not attracted to light skinned men or white men for that matter, just because you think your skin color makes them automatically soft or too weak, just know you are validating the idea that lighter skin is synonymous with softness, and you should understand why and how dark skinned men would approach dating the exact same way. If dark skinned men are really seen as tough, they are probably looking to mate with someone they perceive as soft. It's like a yin and yang situation. Like they're looking for the yang to the yin, if you see what I mean. If you, as a dark skinned woman, can be soft and feminine, understand that lighter skin can be masculine, and masculinity and femininity should not be associated with skin tone like ever. Never should that happen. I think sometimes we approach or look at certain things in a stereotypical way, and the only reason why we have a problem with said stereotypes is only because we are the only group that do not benefit, but we still participate. Having all these preconceived notions solely based on skin tone is colorist, and we should all check ourselves and quit participating in this. With that being said, this marks the end of my video. Thank you so much for all of you who stayed to this part of the video. I am so grateful for you all. Please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. I am very happy to read them. And I will catch you all in the next video. Thank you.